No, now Zoe's not looking. Zoe, come on. Okay, ready?
Tosh, look. Tosh, look.
Hi, we're Laura and Jor.
We live full-time in our self-converted 2020 Ford Transit with our 2 cats. Let's have a look inside.
Welcome on into the van. So we're gonna start right here in the entryway, and the first thing that you always want to do when you come into a home is take off your shoes and hang up your coat. So we've got a couple of storage options for those. First is behind the driver's seat here. So we've got 3 hooks that we installed. This is where we hang up our hats and our coats, our jackets, sweaters. Sometimes I hang up my purse here as well, so we can get those out of the way. And then we've also got 3 different spots for shoe storage. So the first one is also here behind the driver's seat. So we've got a basket, and this is typically where we put sandals or flip-flops or slippers. And then also under our passenger seat here, we have more shoe storage. So if we push the seat forward and also slide it forward, we have better access to this space, but underneath here we can keep about 8 or 9 pairs of shoes. Mostly this is where we keep boots and tennis shoes. And then the third option is underneath the kitchen sink here. So this is where we've got water shoes, workout shoes, just any other shoes that we need to store and get out of the way. Also here in the entryway, we've got a couple additional storage options. So right here is our bookshelf, and Joran built this so it's just wide enough for both of our Bibles. Behind our Bibles, we also have a couple of games. We have Yahtzee, we have Mancala, and a few others that I'm forgetting. Also underneath right here is our headliner shelf. On our headliner shelf are just some items that we either need to get quickly or fit in this small storage space. And then lastly, in kind of our entryway cab area, we've got this really big cabinet that we installed above our headliner shelf. So this cabinet holds, again, a little bit of odds and ends, but mostly backpacks and some camping gear. And then lastly, all of our window covers that go up front. So these are insulated window covers. There's a really big one here for the windshield, and then we've also got 2 smaller ones for the windows. Also up here we've got our curtain. So this is a blackout curtain. It's really thick, and we can hang it up between the cab and the rest of the van when we just want to block out some light, or maybe we need some extra privacy, or it's super cold outside. So basically all we do is we just hang it up on 2 hooks. There's one behind our driver's seat, and then the last one is right here. Right off the entryway is our bathroom. So our bathroom is fully enclosed, and it has both a shower and a toilet in it. Our bathroom is made out of smooth FRP board. We had to special order that and custom make this. And behind the walls, it is completely waterproofed. And then also at all these seams, there is a marine grade sealant. The base of the shower is 24-inch by 36-inch. And inside the shower pan is a custom made shower tray that we made out of poplar. Underneath the tray is a 15-gallon gray water tank that it's attached underneath the van. Also connected to this tray is our airhead composting toilet. So our toilet has liquids in the front and solids in the back. The solids compost with coconut fiber, and they need changed about every 8 weeks. There really is no smell, and that's because there is a hose connected to the back of the toilet. It goes all the way outside the van, and there is a fan running constantly, so it just keeps moving that air right on out of the van. For the liquids tank, we do have to empty this about every 3 days. And for privacy in the shower, we also have this Nautilus self-cleaning retractable door. It's really easy to open and close. And then while I'm in here, I'll just kind of mention our litter system. So the first place that we typically put our litter box is actually in the cab. On the floorboard in front of the passenger seat That's normally where we keep it. We do have WeatherTech floor liners on both sides up there, so if there is any spill, it's really easy to clean up. But when we're driving, we need somewhere else to put it, so our litter system just fits right where I'm standing here, and it keeps it nice and stable. Again, if there's any spills, it's a shower, so we can just rinse it right off. Speaking of our shower, we've got a handheld shower head right here. It's got this little button so that we can kind of click it on and click it off when the water is actually pumping and running. It saves a lot of water when we're taking our showers. We also have 2 hooks inside here when we are not using the shower. This is where we hang our towels, and then when we are taking a shower, we just move them out. Right across from the bathroom is our kitchen. Above the sliding door here, we have 2 hooks. These hooks match the ones that are behind the driver's seat. We either put our dish towels here, or when we're getting ready to take a shower, we will put our bath towels here and hang them up. Right here is our light switch command center. So the top, we've got 2 toggle switches here. The top one controls the exterior light outside, and then this bottom one turns the ceiling lights on and off. And then we also have 2 sets of dimmer switches for our upper cabinet and toe kick lighting. All the way down here is our fridge. So as you can see, we've gone with matte black, and our fridge is no different. This is a 130 liter truck fridge. It is absolutely massive for a van. As you can see, we've got plenty of storage here in the door for condiments and sauces. It also has a small freezer up here for ice cream mostly, and then several shelves. Some of these shelves even have a little flip up section so that we can store taller items like bottles or milk. And then there's a sliding tray down here for meats or vegetables. And then one of the things I really like about this and how we've designed it is that the door can actually even open more than 90 degrees. So when I'm loading in groceries or getting things out to cook, it's really easy to access everything that we've got stored in there. Across from the fridge is our pantry. So this is where we keep the rest of our food. It is floor to ceiling, so lots and lots of storage space here. We do have a marine grade slam latch on the pantry, which helps ensure that all of this heavy stuff stays in here and stays shut when we're driving. You'll see that pretty much most of our cabinetry, nothing has hardware except for a couple of these slam latches here. And one of the reasons we like them is just because they're flush when they're not open. We're not banging into them. Inside our pantry here, there are several shelves, but 2 of them are fixed. So the fixed ones have the sliders on them. We've got the top and the bottom right here, and then all of the other shelves are completely like movable and customizable. So there's some holes on both sides, and we can kind of move the shelves up and down based on the size bottles or items that we're storing in here. And best for last, on the back side is my favorite feature, a full-length mirror to help me get ready for the day. Above the pantry is our Max Air fan. So Max Air fans, or fans in general, are just pretty much essential to owning a fan. Some people have 2. We just have 1. We chose to put it up front here for 2 reasons. The first reason is because it's close to our shower, and then the second reason is because it's close to all of our food and cooking. So we just want to make sure that we remove all of the smells or condensation from the air. Across from our pantry area here is one of our windows that we use to kind of keep air flowing with the fan up front here. So this is a window that we installed ourselves in our sliding door, and then it's got this screen here that we can open up all the way, and when we're cooking food, it just really kind of keeps air flowing. While we're looking at our fan, I'll also point out our ceiling here. So we installed this custom ceiling. It's made out of oak plywood, and we stained that and sealed it ourselves. The goal of the color here was to match the floor, or at least bring out some of the colors that are in the floor as closely as possible. So when we designed the van, we basically started out by picking the floor, and then from there we just kind of worked our way up. These are 3/4 inch aspen countertops. We chose these for all the countertops and tabletops in the van. We were originally going to go with butcher black, but quickly realized that we could save a lot of money and a lot of weight in the van if we just went with this option instead. So far we are really liking the countertops that we chose, but because aspen is a softer wood, it is more susceptible to dents and dings when we drop things, but otherwise really liking the choice that we made. We decided to do a sink cutout here right in the middle of this piece of countertop. The first time that Joran cut it out, he messed it up, so if this would have been butcher block, it would have been a pretty costly mistake. But having this sink insert here really does allow us some extra space for food prep. When we're ready to use our sink, we just take it right out. And we've got our matte black faucet and our matte black sink. This faucet does swivel around outside, and we can use it to spray things off if needed. This sink is pretty deep. It's actually a bar sink, and we wanted a deep sink just to make it easier when washing dishes. To best utilize the size of the countertop here, we went with a 15-inch by 17-inch sink. So that we don't waste this area in front of the sink, we made it into a little drawer. So we just attached some 45-degree hinges on the sides and then added this little metal insert. This is where we store our sponge and our soap and our magic eraser when traveling. It just keeps things tucked away when we're moving the van. Underneath the sink here, we do have one large cabinet, and again, this has the marine grade slam latch. When I open the door here, you'll notice that we do have a small trash can that is mounted to the door. It is pretty small, but living in a van, we don't want to carry around a lot of trash with us, so this is the perfect size to get rid of it every 36 to 48 hours. It's neat. It's got a two-way opening there, so it makes it easy when you are making food. And then underneath the cabinet here is where we store all of our cleaning supplies. So sprays, paper towels, dish soap, extra trash bags, things like that. We've also got our fire extinguisher in here, as well as our Hydro-Vive water filter, so that all of the water that comes out of our faucet is already filtered and drinkable for us. Underneath our cabinets here, we do have some toe kick drawers. So all you do is give it a push. They are pushed to open. And we just wanted to utilize a little bit of extra space that's underneath the cabinets. It doesn't go all the way back, but this front one here is where we keep all of our laundry supplies. So we do have lint roller and some laundry sheets and our dryer balls, stain remover, wrinkle releaser, stuff like that. And then in the one right next to it, this is where we keep our cat food. So this is water and this is food. These are basically their bowls throughout the day. So right now the lids are on them, and these just keep it locked tight so that no food or water spills out when we're driving or moving the van. But when we do park, I just pop the lids off and then the food and water is ready for them. We have 3 kitchen cabinets here. These are all push to open cabinets, and the biggest one is on the bottom. So our large cabinet here on the bottom pretty much houses our Ninja Foodie. We built a lot of this cabinetry around bringing this Foodie. The Foodie, it bakes, it sautés, it pressure cooks, it air fries, it does almost everything that you could need to do in a kitchen except for in one appliance. It is electric. We absolutely love it. It's a great investment. It cooks all of our food for us. So it was really important to have with us here in the van. In this middle drawer here, we basically have the rest of our larger cooking equipment. So we do just have one bowl, one pot, one pan. We just kind of have one of everything. Underneath this is our induction cooktop. Both of our cooking appliances are electric. We have absolutely no propane in the van. It's a full electric cooking system. And then in the top drawer here, all the little goodies. So because there are 2 of us, we mostly have 2 of everything. 2 bowls, 2 plates, 2 mugs, 2 cups, but we do have a couple extra spoons and forks just to make things a little bit easier. And then few items to wrap up the kitchen here. We've got our backsplash. So Joran kind of designed this to go with the wall that is across from it on the outside of the shower here. The shower wall actually went through several iterations. At one point we completely tore down everything that was on here and started over. But we really liked the mountain kind of theme going on, and so Joran put this together. We made the shower wall to kind of coordinate it. on both sides of the van here because we really wanted just kind of some functional decor in the van, since it is a very minimalist kind of minimally decorated space. Across from the kitchen, we have what we call our dresser area. There's just a big dresser here with 3 push-to-open drawers, and these contain most of our clothes. We will show Joran's because it is the cleanest and most organized right now. And then we also have the majority of our camera equipment down here. This is also where we keep our produce, and then this is the light switch for our bathroom. Over on this wall is actually our TV. This is where we watch all of our TV shows and movies. So how we do that is right underneath the cabinet. Across from it over here, we have a mount for our projector. So we just can quickly pop that on, set it up. It projects onto this nice big white space, and it's really easy to watch from our bed or our couch. The heater controls are also on this wall. This is how we turn on hot water, and we can also turn on the blower if we want hot air as well. Underneath this cabinet here, we do have under cabinet lighting. There's also one across from it in the kitchen. And then this is one of our cabinets. This particular cabinet has toiletries as well as some cat supplies, but all of our cabinets have these friction latches as well as these gas struts. And even on bumpy roads, we've never had any cabinets open because the gas struts keep the doors in place. We've finally made it to the back of our van. So this is our workspace, our dining space, and our bedroom. Right now we are in dining and work mode. As you can see, we've got a nice big U-shaped couch area and then our table here in the middle. The table is on a swivel mount so that we can position it for working or eating, and then we can also kind of adjust it to let people in and out throughout the workday. Underneath the table, we have a 12 volt and a 120 volt outlet for plugging in our laptops. Our laptops, when they're not in use, are over here in this custom built cubby in the wall. This area is padded inside here just to keep our laptops safe while the van is moving while we're driving. We also have a bunch of pillows in this work and dining area, which we mostly use in the evening when we turn it into bed mode. However, we wanted to make sure that these were functional pieces of storage in plain sight. So in most of our pillows, we have jackets, sweaters, and we even have 2 very large sleeping bags stored inside the pillowcases. We also have our remaining cabinets back here. So there are 6 cabinets total, 3 on each side. This one in particular stores all of our camping gear and our yoga mats for stretching, but this is just kind of where everything else is stored. All of our bedding, dirty laundry, clothes, all that good stuff is up top here. When it's time for bed mode, the first thing that we do is we take the table off the mount, and then we actually replace the table back in this slot here. There are rails on all the sides that the table rests on, and then you'll notice it's not quite large enough to fill this whole space, so we do have an additional piece that goes in here, and it's stored under the bench. And this piece is also what we call our coffee table. We realized it was the perfect size that we could also use it outside, so we attached some legs to it, and it works really well for outdoor dining. So there are 4 long cushions that make up our bed. And then from there, we just get out our sheet and we put that on. We grab our comforters from the cabinets as well. We also have some built-in nightstands back here. So we each have one. Each of them has a 12 volt outlet, again, with the USB adapters available, and then just lots of space to store books, glasses, cords, whatever you need. We also have 2 windows back here that we installed ourselves. So these do have the slider screens here so that we can let in some air at night when it's a little warm outside. And then we've also created some custom insulated window covers that we can put up at night as well. So once it's time to go to bed, we put all of that up on our windows. We also pull down our insulated window covers on the back 2 windows here, and then we turn off the light. So the light switch is right here, and that just turns off all of our ceiling lights at night so we don't have to get up.
So now we're going to go over what's inside each of the benches. On this side of the van, we've got a 30-gallon freshwater tank back here in the back. You can see these black vent hoses running down the length of the bench here, and those come out to our 2 air vents. We've got one in the back and one in the front of this side of the bench. These are fully adjustable. If we move up here to the front half of this bench, this is basically the guts of our whole heating system. So we have a hydronic heater, and that just plugs directly into our gasoline fuel tank. What it does is it heats up a closed circuit of coolant. This is the coolant tank for it, and when we turn on the heater with the controls over there, it's just heating up that loop of coolant, and then the coolant's piped through these black heater hoses, and the first thing it passes through is our plate heat exchanger. So that's how we get hot water in the van, and it goes straight from there into our shower on this side. And then, I don't think we mentioned this, but we have a slightly elevated floor back here in the bench area, so it's raised up about 4 inches, and part of the reason we did that was to allow all of our plumbing and electrical from one side of the van to cross over to the other side of the van without having to run it overhead or anything like that. In front of that, what we have is the blower, and that works pretty much on the same principle as the plate heat exchanger. Inside our passenger bench is our whole electrical system. On the roof, we've got 620 watts of solar power. And then inside the cabinet here, we have 3 100 amp hour Battleborn batteries. Starting from the front of the cabinet here, we've got a Victron MPPT solar charge controller. We've also got an Orion, Victron Orion DC-DC charger. So that's taking some of the power from our alternator while we're driving. Between the solar and the alternator charger, we're able to get all the power we need. We keep our batteries completely charged most of the time and really have not had any concerns about electricity so far. We have our 12 volt distribution panel here, and then next to that what we have is the AC breaker panel. This big switch right here is the main kill switch for the entire electrical system. That's connected directly to our Victron Lynx distributor. And so this is a combination of a positive and a negative bus bar. This big guy back here is our 3000 watt inverter charger. It's the Victron MultiPlus 3000. So this is what's taking 12 volt power from our battery bank and turning it into standard household 120 volt power. And if we were ever at a campground, for example, or we were staying with somebody and we just wanted to plug into the grid, plug into shore power, we could do that. One last thing on this side of the van, back here by the bench, is our internet. So the way that we get internet out on the road, even while we're out in remote areas, boondocking like we are right now out in Utah, we have this MiFi hotspot, and it works on the T-Mobile network. So we're able to get up to 5G high-speed internet anywhere that's available. We do have it paired with this, which is our WeBoost. It's the RV model. So we have an antenna for that up on the roof that's boosting the signal. That goes to this little antenna, and then we just keep our MiFi right next to that so that we have the strongest internet that we can. And then we're able to connect directly to the Wi-Fi that puts out. Let's step outside and we'll have a look at the exterior of the van and some of the upgrades that we've done out there. So starting with the back doors here, we'll just open it up and show you some of the storage that we have underneath the bench area. We can get to this 2 ways. From the inside, we can just take this cushion off, lift up the bench, and then we have access to it from inside the van. And then outside we have this door. We've got another slam latch. And inside here we keep several of these plastic collapsible crates. They just keep everything nice and organized, prevent loose items from shifting around inside the van while we're driving. And then back in here, because we raised up the floor in the bench area by a couple inches, we have about 5 feet worth of long storage under there. We have our water fill port on this side, so anytime we're filling up the fresh water tank, we open up the doors and just take off this cap. So as I'm sure you noticed, on the back of the van we added some things. We have this Luminous brand accessory rack that we mounted to the van. There are 4 brackets. It mounts basically to the hinges on the inside of this door. And we did get the bike rack kit with that as well, so it has these 2 extension arms. On top of there, we've mounted 2 1UP USA bike racks. These are super nice and heavy duty. They're easy to use and operate. Clearly you can see that we don't have any bikes on them right now. We did start out a few months ago with bikes. Unfortunately, since we've been on the road, those were stolen. So we're planning to replace those soon, and we'll have 2 bikes on the back here. At the top you can see we do have a built-in backup camera, so that's nice, especially when there are no bikes in the way. The other thing we've added to the rack here is this storage box. And this is the Rover Vans Expedition box. We did have to do a little bit of modification to get this brand onto the Luminous rack, but it worked. It really wasn't a big deal at all. This went together in an afternoon. So we like this box, lower price point than some of the other boxes out there, including the Luminous brand one. And this one has 2 locks. What we store inside the box are things like chemicals, anything that's dirty, anything we don't want inside the van. We wouldn't want getting the van dirty. And coming around the side of the van, you can see just how big it is. It is a 2020 Ford Transit high roof extended, so it is the largest of the Ford Transit line. We like having all the space. We bought it in 2021 for $40,000. We got it when it had about 23,000 miles on it. If you're interested in knowing more about the total cost, we are going to have a video you should check out that goes over the full cost of everything that we added into the van, and we're going to go into detail on all that stuff. We have the shore power inlet plug there. And we did upgrade the tires, so these are BF Goodrich KO2s. They're all-terrain tires. They're excellent for going off-road onto dirt roads, washboard roads. They're excellent in the snow, and they are the 255 70/16, so these are the largest tire that we were able to put on the van without having to do any modifications at all. Speaking of modifications though, we just recently added some suspension upgrades. We added all Super Springs International components, so we put on Super Springs, which are a leaf spring helper. We put on Sumo Springs, which are a replacement for the factory bump stops in the rear, and then in the front we put in coil Sumo Springs. All of those upgrades got us back 2 inches of height and clearance in the van since adding all the way to the conversion. Looking up here, you can see the exterior light that we added on, and that is mounted to our custom roof rack. We built our roof rack out of aluminum unistrut. We painted that black, and we obviously mounted our solar panels onto that. We also put in the front and the rear 2 anchor points, and the reason we have those is so we can put up our awning, which is a super simple basic design, but we found a waterproof tarp on Amazon, and we rigged up a way to attach it right there to the roof rack, and then we can tie it down on the corners outside and use that if we want a little extra shade or protection from the weather outside. Thanks for checking out our van tour. We really hope you enjoyed it. If you saw something in the build that you liked or you're interested in, just make sure you check the description below. We're going to add a ton of links for things that we used throughout the build. If there's anything missing that you're interested in, just leave us a comment and we'll be sure to get back to you.
And if you like this video or this tour, hit the like button and don't forget to also subscribe if you want to see more van life content. Thanks so much. See you later.